All right, good evening, Dubai. Good evening, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am Oluwatobi Oladipo, and welcome to the second episode of BCA CHAT Dubai. On today's episode, we have a very phenomenal guest. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, she is the founder and CEO of D14 AI. In the same breath, ladies and gentlemen, she won the New Entrepreneur of the Year in 2020 in the Gulf region. At the same time, she's recognized by Forbes as one of the top 10 women in tech in the MENA region. I could go on and on with her accolades and everything she's won, but I must mention that she was named amongst the top 100 women founders in Turkey, according to their turnover. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce to you Melda Akin. Please put your hands together. Thank you so much. Joining me on this conversation is Parikshit. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for being part of us today. Your background is so interesting. You know, you started off your career from computer engineering to MSc in intelligence engineering, and then you worked as a software developer, and then now you're founder and CEO of an AI company. Tell us about this journey. It's such a trend, you know.
Firstly, thank you so much for inviting me here. It's always a pleasure. Actually, that was my passion because it comes from my childhood. So I started coding when I was 12 years old. So I was always wondering how this machine works, what can they do, and how it's gonna work, what else I can do.
Absolutely.
So that was the way how it started. So for me, it's like, you know, the lifestyle, because I love computer science.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it's impossible.
Absolutely. But your love for computer science, did it start while you were a child, or were the people you were looking up to that you felt, you know what, I want to be like these people, you know, through my journey?
Of course. So actually, my dad was actually a very big supporter for me. One day he came with a big box and he told me that, Melda, guess what is the gift for you? And I said, you know, you're like, you know, the little kid and as a, you know, the female. I said, okay. And then he told me, okay, this is a computer and this is the future. And that's the future and that you need to learn.
Yeah.
And during that age, I was in love with skateboarding. And he said that, okay, we're gonna go to, you know, the skating area, and then you're gonna go to this private course for the computer. Okay. I said, okay, that's a good deal.
Okay.
And then after that, I said, okay, then an hour there and an hour there, and I started. So okay, that's good. But in the meantime, my uncle was so, you know, focused on that kind of the computer science and IT.
Yeah.
You know, during that time, there is no Facebook, there is no computer,
Absolutely.
and there is an uncle who is handsome and who is doing interesting things. I said, what is this guy is doing?
Absolutely.
And then I wonder, and then I start, you know, getting more interested in it and how I can learn more. Yeah. Because especially it's my experience, when I see that I started achieving good things and how to build a website, and how to communicate with other people. There are many funny stories. Like, for example, I wanted to send an email to my friend, but I don't know anyone who has an email. Yeah. So I opened up another email, so I was keep sending.
Oh, wow.
That kind of funny things happen.
That must have been fascinating. To be fair, that must have been fascinating. So, you know, while you were speaking, you mentioned something about skateboarding. So do you get to do that often on the side at the moment? You know?
So currently, you know, being an entrepreneur actually is a full-time job.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there is no 9-5 hours.
Yeah.
So, for example, today I woke up like 5:30 and I did many things. So now I'm here, I'm gonna go back home and I'm gonna continue to work.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So it's long hours. But when I have time, you know, I like music, dancing and sculpturing. So in my free time, I do sculpture. And you're more than welcome. I will be joining the IFC Art Nights as an artist. So,
wow.
Just the Christie Gallery.
Definitely, this is like an opening night. At the end of the day, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you mentioned the story that your dad had to make a bargain between, you know, computer and skateboarding. You know, aside this story, along your journey, was it like another story, let's say that, you know, that caught you during this period, maybe a story that gave you an extra motivation? You know, was there something that you could relate to?
For the computer science?
Yeah, for computer science.
So actually, logically that I remember, for now what we do, we have laptops, so we just carry it everywhere. I don't remember any day that I don't have my laptop with me.
Oh, yeah.
But during that ages, there was the big dining table, and we had placed that one because that was the most important and exciting thing at home.
Absolutely.
So there is a pieces. So we were collecting pieces. I don't know if you guys experienced that one.
PCs.
Yeah, PCs.
Yes.
You buy keyboard from somewhere, speaker
Yes.
from somewhere,
Yeah.
monitor somewhere.
Absolutely.
So I was wondering how it works. And okay, let me look at it. Let me, dismantle it. Then I couldn't fix it, so we went to the shop to make it fixed.
Really?
And then this internet, there was like that was the music, that kind of things coming in. It was a dial in. And I was trying to understand how it works, So every question that I asked to myself, so I tried to get the answer. So that's the way that I learned how to code, how to get into the hardware, how to get in the security. So every new question brings something new.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean, from what I could get from this, even from a child, you were a very innovative person who just always wanted to try something new. And at the same time, it was exciting for you because I could tell that it was a very exciting, period from childhood. So when you felt like you were going to go from computer science into, say, business, intelligent engineering, what was that transition phase like? What did you decide? What was the thing that happened, with you at the time that made you feel like you needed to transition?
Yeah. That's actually a very good question because mostly, I receive that kind of question. So once I was graduating from computer science, computer engineering department, that wasn't even a question. I said, okay, this intelligent engineering systems, it's not for me. So I need to study something else. But it was a very intense program, my undergrad.
Yeah.
So I was working as the software developer, business analyst, support, and the project. Then I came to the point that, Melda, you know what? Actually, I need to do more.
Yeah.
And I need to learn more. And when I look at, this courses, and I start feeling excited, I said, you know what? This is the thing that I could do. But if you had asked me 3 years before, I would definitely say big no. So that's why my humble opinion, I suggest students take a break, work a little bit, then to allow yourself to see what will be your next move. It can be either engineering, either business school, or something else.
Absolutely.
We don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth to take the risk, even though you don't know what could be. But it's very certain that there would always be a light at the end of the tunnel. From your profile, there was a point you were a research and teaching assistant. How was that journey like? And was it something do you see yourself going back into teaching and being a lecturer sometime in the future?
I love it. I love it because it was an amazing time, and my students, they were telling me that, you know what, you're amazing, we love you, you do jokes and everything, but why are you teaching the most challenging and difficult courses?
What was this course?
Like heuristic systems, the advanced algorithms, and the network security. Because I'm in very disciplined. So in 10 minutes during the break, I would tell, okay, guys, let's do this, let's have some fun, but at lesson. You're in the lesson. So it's straight to the point. There is no yes or no. It's 1 or 0. Either you're going to succeed or you're going to fail, you're going to work, and you're going to succeed again.
Absolutely.
I love teaching. So one day I will definitely be back.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm able to attend your classes at the time, because learning, you always learn every day, learning is a lifetime process. So tell us about, so at the same time you were a UN Women Mentor.
Yeah.
Would you say your journey sort of helped you to become a mentor to women and, to the world?
This is also one of the things that I love because now when I'm back, when I look at back my high school, university, now I realize, okay, the thing that I do was mentorship, but I wasn't aware of that concept.
Absolutely.
Because, the helping people, learning from yourself and learning from experience and opening some doors for other people, that's an amazing feeling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In 2017, you had a company called Nomoit, if I'm correct. So tell us, where is Nomoit in comparison to D14AI? Was it like a transition? Tell us the story.
So setting up a company is a different thing. Yeah. Running a business, different thing.
Absolutely.
And staying alive is totally different.
Absolutely.
So when I was talking to my mentor, And I was saying that, okay, I mean, what you're gonna do? You're gonna go to the government office. You're gonna sign a couple of paper. Okay, that's the company, and you're gonna pay for it. But how can you have a sustainable business?
Yeah.
And how can avoid these downs, and how you can focus on scale up? In my opinion, experience is more than the studying. So in the school we said, okay, in theory everything is perfect. And I was saying, oh my God, how I'm gonna run this company? And one of my mentors told me, Melda, don't worry, because the best entrepreneurs, they fail 1, 2, or 3 times, and the 4th one gonna work. And I said, this 4th is too much.
It's too much, honestly.
It's too much. And I said, okay. So first, it started like the digital transformation consultancy, program management. It worked well, but scaling up, having a product, and having a roadmap and staying on focus requires time. So that was for me like warm up. The warm up, the knowing yourself, knowing the market, understanding what's an entrepreneurship about, and struggling times. And it taught me a lot.
Absolutely.
So it bring me, the D14 AI.
Absolutely, and now it's super successful. I mean, but would you say that with entrepreneurs? Would you say that entrepreneurs are not usually patient enough to learn through a process, or also acceptable enough to fail and then we continue and try again? Have you seen like a trend in entrepreneurs where you feel like that needs to be changed?
Based on my experience, patience, extremely important.
Absolutely.
And being person is extremely important, and embrace the change. Because sometimes I see that, the entrepreneurs, it's good to be in love with the business, but it should be, I think, be okay, and it will be perfect to open, to embrace the change, being coachable, learning from others. So it's the very tiny line, being so passionate and being arrogant about it.
Yeah, there is a very little line in between there. And then at the same time, you spoke about the importance of having a mentor, because while you were speaking, you said you spoke to your mentor. What is the very big significance in having a mentor as an entrepreneur, or even as an individual? Like why and when do you think would be the best time for an entrepreneur to think, I need a mentor in my life, in my business?
That's also, the good question. But how I can explain this one? One is, the gut feeling, and the second one is no one is perfect. So when I sometimes talk to them, say, no, I know that one and I can do it. No way. Absolutely. There is always someone better than us.
Absolutely.
There is always someone knows better than us.
Absolutely.
So we need to be open. So it's not a weakness asking for help. So that's why I ask help. I said, okay, I do this. What do you think? What I don't do, I don't go directly and ask. I do the things the way that I would do. For example, today at 10 p.m., I have one coaching session. So I prepared something, in my opinion, it's true, but I want to be ahead. I want to achieve more.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to ask him, okay, this is the thing that I do. How would you do if you were me? So sometimes when I talk with entrepreneurs, they say, like, even sometimes my team as well. I said, okay, let's ask Mr. A's opinion. He said, no, I know. I said that there is no.
Interesting. All right, so I've just received a signal from my production team. We'll just take a quick break. And when we return, we'll go further into details about Melda Akin as a founder and some of the extra achievements that she's had across this journey. Stay with us.
My father, Bertel Holty, started EF 50 years ago. His base idea was that there was a better way to learn than just through books. We believe that experiential learning is just a better way to learn. Over the years, Bertel noticed that the world was getting more and more interconnected, and he thought that traditional business schools weren't necessarily keeping up. It was too theoretical. People weren't learning through doing, and we saw an opportunity to create a different kind of business school, which was more practical and more focused on what real companies need.
We wanted to create a business school which changed the way people are educated, so that the students learn by doing. That's why we started HULT. Because success in business today is as much about understanding globalization and cultures as it is about understanding finance and marketing. But business school in general weren't helping their students keep up with how quickly things were changing. We believed the world needed a practical school to educate not just leaders of business, but leaders of the world. And that's why Hult International Business School was born.
Since 2003, when Hult welcomed in its first class here in Cambridge, Hult has been a different kind of business school. Hult's an independent, not-for-profit, and we emphasize innovation, entrepreneurial thinking, and practical learning. Our goal is that students apply real lessons from real companies. Today, Hult has 6 campuses around the world. But it's not the campuses that make Hult global, it's the students. They come from over 150 nationalities, and they speak more than 100 languages. They bring their diverse perspective together to solve the most pressing issues facing business today. And in the process, they learn to think differently about the possibilities of the future.
I graduate tomorrow, and I know that I have developed the skill set that I need to be able to negotiate.
Studying business at Hult is very practical and hands-on because you get to work on real-life consulting projects.
So what really surprised me when I came to Hult is how close you are to the professors and how much they care about their students' learning.
What stood out for me the most about Hult was the diverse student body and the faculty.
It's kind of having like friends all over the world. All my life changed, all of it.
Our family believes in the power of transformative education, and we're really proud to support the Hult International Business School.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us, and welcome back to BCA Chat Episode 2. As you know, in the first section of this conversation, we are talking to Melda Akin on her journey so far. And thank you so much for staying with us as well. I'm just going to continue. We read an article from Forbes when they announced that you're top 10 women in tech in the MENA region. More significantly, they said that the addition of all the women entrepreneurs had received a total of $120 million in funding, right? And of course, there are several reviews from Harvard and Bloomberg that says, women entrepreneurs struggle to get funding. How was this process for you as a woman entrepreneur? It must have been challenging, wasn't it?
First, I didn't raise. So it's a self-funded startup, so I'm 100% owner.
Okay.
So what happens is, so I can, get back to things. So the fundraising is something that's, of course, is challenging. It's not an easy.
Absolutely.
So like I said, when I asked you guys for, can you give me 1,000 dirham? You would think about it, Melda, what you gonna do? I said, no. So what? When are you gonna give it? So that would be a lot of questions. So why someone should invest in your business?
Yeah.
So as an entrepreneur, if you write, the high salary, why someone should finance you?
Yeah.
So there are the many things. In the region, there might be, the seed, some of them an idea stage, some of them a scale up. So there are a couple of stages. How was my experience? So first, of course, I try to, to talk with the investors, how it's gonna look like. So there are many things. So I think the entrepreneur should ask, when is the right time for me to raise, to get funded? So in my journey, I focus on to building a successful business first, making something profitable. So I have, which we say market fit. Having, the proof that this product gonna work. Couple of, the happy clients, increasing revenue.
Yeah, absolutely.
And after that, I don't think it's challenging.
Absolutely. Okay, so while you were speaking, so you mentioned entrepreneurs need to know when they need to start looking for funding.
Yeah.
Do you think, what is that point in which an entrepreneur, a business should get into before they start looking for funding?
The most important part is, I think, team. So that's also what I hear from investors and also ecosystem as well. The strong team, the bonded team, can this team deliver good results?
Yeah.
Can they succeed? And how does the market look like? What is the product? Can be scaled globally or regionally, and how the financials and how the model, the 5 years plan, the business plan gonna work.
Absolutely.
So these boxes should be ticked.
Yeah, they definitely should be ticked. And then, we can go on and on with these questions, because at the end of the day, even selecting a team, what we're seeing in the job market is there is so much job opportunities, but then you hire someone and then you get to realize that the expertise is not there, but the motivation is there. So you are sort of stuck in between managing motivation and managing the expertise. So when you're like selecting a team, which of them is that one you're gonna have to put ahead of the other, or you have to measure them, simultaneously?
Yeah, you're asking really good questions.
Thank you so much.
So I'm following this rule: hire slow, fire fast. Of course, we don't want to fire anyone, but when I look at that person, number one is, can we get along with the lifestyle, the business style, being that passionate? Because as Melda on that point, for me the ideal candidate is who can be available maximum it can. I cannot work with someone who is offline after 5 p.m. So
Okay.
that's the journey. I don't know. This means they're probably not gonna get along. I mean, it's not the working day and night.
Yeah.
But sometimes there might be something comes to my mind, and sometimes we need to deliver. I may text.
Yeah.
So you know what? Why don't we do this? And how we can move. Of course, it's important to rest.
Yeah.
So every Friday, I tell my team that, guys, have a great weekend.
Definitely.
And make sure that you rest.
Definitely.
But when I compare, honestly, you may not agree. I think it's more than corporate life.
Definitely. For
So
sure.
this passion, skill set, being passionate about growing, hearing the feedback, accepting the change, accepting the coachable and the guidance, seeing this is a lifestyle, and sharing the same dream, it's important.
Absolutely. Let me hear from you, Parikshit.
Yes. So what I wanted to know as an entrepreneur, what were the risks involved? Because you have to sacrifice something as an entrepreneur.
Something?
Yeah,
Many things.
everything, right? Yeah. So how was that journey? Because it does take a toll on all entrepreneurs, because you're giving up on life to create a better life. But most of them don't have that foresight. And once they see that they're sacrificing on what they have, they immediately stop being entrepreneurs.
So maybe you can start defining the better life. So is it buying a fancy car, or having, being famous, or building a nice product that can serve the masses?
Yes, better lifestyle as in creating impact to the world, making others' life better by sacrificing your own.
Yeah.
So what's your comment on that?
So my focus still always having a successful business. Never ever I thought about making money first. So when people said, they raise, the 1 million, 10 million, 20 million, but how is the entrepreneur motivation? So of course there are a lot of risk. I quit my job. So I was director, management board member, making a good amount of money. I just jumped on something, it's totally new, and I start spending my own money, investing my time and the money. It's a huge risk. So that's, I think it's the one step. And the second one is, of course, as I said, you need to work, you need to improve. And during the weekend, I learn a lot. So there are books that I need to read. There are, the podcasts I need to listen. I need to focus on my business. And also, actually, honestly, I see business, but I don't see it's my business. It's my baby. So it's my life. So I'm not going to allow anyone to destroy it. So whatever happens is.
That honestly is every entrepreneur. So once they set up the business, that's their first of everything.
Exactly.
First love, first family,
Exactly.
first everything.
Exactly.
And I want to know one more thing. So there's always this one person in everyone's life who creates the reason to achieve more. So who's that one person in your life?
So the person that makes me motivated,
Yes.
you mean?
Yes.
There are a couple of people, some of them very successful. And but my dad was always, I remember when I was a kid, so he was super hardworking. Now he's retired. He was working on the map. So I was asking, Daddy, what are you doing? What is this? And he was telling me that, okay, these are the pipelines. Like he was in, the chemistry, refinery business. He was always doing this. And then he was telling me that you're gonna achieve more, Melda. You're gonna do more. You're gonna be more successful than I do, because this is the way how my grandfather raised my dad.
Wow.
So it was the way. So now I realize that I'm telling the same thing for my niece. So it's a realization point. So she's coming to me, so said, Auntie, what are you doing? I said, I'm doing this to learn maths. She's 5 years old. She's doing well.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, absolutely. Let me know. You've been in the Middle East for a long period of time, right? Where do you see the tech industry going to in the next couple of years? And do you think a lot of women are shying away from tech? And what do you think they should rather look at to get into it?
I think, the core fundamental, it's extremely important.
Absolutely.
So I was always in, the math side. But many of my friends, the families, they were directing them to in Turkey, for example, there's the TM, is the Turkish and Math, and the science school. And science school, I was always, we were like 3-5 girls and nothing than that. So that comes from, I think, the family. Because if you don't show your kids how they're gonna have a chance to realize, to get on that point. So this is number one, the families, they realize what are, the powerful points for their kids. It may not be math as well, it may be art.
Yeah.
It may be history, it might be literature.
Yeah.
We don't know. What is the skill set?
Yeah.
So there are lots of assessments, and it's not difficult to realize that point. I think that will be the number one. And the second one is, what makes that person excited? And when you forget the time, I said, oh my God, this is 5 p.m. already.
Yeah.
So what is these things?
Passion,
What's the passion comes? And the third one is, again, sometimes, I see that there are a lot of comments, even to me. They were saying, this is woman, okay, Melda, you're a female, what are you doing this? And I said, your mom is also female.
Yeah.
So I just reply like that one.
Yeah.
So what's it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's talk about you as a UN Women mentor, right?
Yeah.
So with mixing, I know you mentioned already that you love to train, you love to coach, but how do you get to merge that with, being a tech entrepreneur, a businesswoman, and of course a mentoring woman? How do you mix this? Is it like you have like several personalities? Like in the morning you're in tech, in the afternoon you're a coach, and then in the evening you are supporting women?
I mean, it's the mentoring and the coaching, it's a limited time. It's like, the 3-4 hours in a month. So you can do it just during it having coffee. So I'm also learning from them. I'm not saying that, okay, I'm a mentor. There's no way.
Absolutely.
I'm learning from their challenges. I'm learning their passion, their struggles. I'm also checking that how I can help that person.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So there is a study from Lenin that says by 2059, there'll be a gender pay parity between, of course, men and women.
Yeah.
Do you see? So how are you? Is this one of the things you're tackling as a UN Women mentor, and how do you think this is going to be achievable by 2059?
I mean, for example, I'm invited many talks like the female entrepreneur, female scientist. These are the points that I realize my gender. So I don't forget, I'm a female or not.
Okay.
But yeah, we are not, that crowded. So many of my friends, they didn't pick that course.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy. So I try to, of course, motivate and to show it's charming is a tech side.
Absolutely.
So it's not of course it's challenging, it's difficult, but I think it's not that the crazy point that you cannot achieve. Of course, it needs a lot of dedication.
Absolutely. And of course, with of course, I know that the UN also have this equal opportunities narrative for women entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
How is that coming along so far?
So that's also funny enough, because I had told them, okay, I want to match with the science students that we couldn't find. So there is someone in engineering with the climate change. She's also doing amazing. So I'm mentoring her for the setting up a business in Middle East. What will be the challenges? What are the routes she should follow, she shouldn't follow? So that kind of things that I am doing right now.
Perfect. I'm going to throw it back to you, Parachi.
Yes. So that's amazing, first of all, that you are helping all women to empower themselves. Okay, now a little controversial question, if you don't mind. Okay, how do you think that women entrepreneurs will change the geopolitical relation between the neighboring countries?
Good question. So there are actually a couple of pieces here and there on this. So knowing the region, understanding the dynamics. For example, Turkish community and the Turkey is very close to Middle East.
Yeah.
But when I was in Turkey, I was working with Dutch company. So in the Dutch companies, the Dutch people, they are straight to the point. If the meeting would start at 10, they start at 10, everyone is ready, the 9:50. But here, it's a little bit relaxing, using the words, not saying directly. In the US, people are result oriented, but here we are process oriented. There's a very nice book, actually, it's about the Professor Aaron Mayer. It's about culture map. So knowing the culture and the dynamics, the work ethic and the geopolitical area, I think it's a big component of doing business.
Absolutely.
So I think everyone, not only women, should study and should at least have some idea about that country, region, and market.
Even apart from women, even the men, or no matter your industry, you could actually get into politics, into government, and actually effect a certain change as much as you can. I know you're from Turkey, right? Do you have a branch of D14 AI, or what are the initiatives that you are creating in Turkey for the people in Turkey?
So the main office, head office here.
Yeah.
So we have another office in Turkey as well, because I like serving the community because this is my roots.
Absolutely.
But this is not limited. We have people who works from UK and Egypt.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna, the extend to region as well, because the talent is important.
Absolutely. Honestly, I got to live in Turkey for a couple of years, and I could see the.
Where?
I lived in northern Cyprus, Lefkosia in northern Cyprus, and then I moved to Ankara for about 5 months thereabouts.
Yeah.
It was a very amazing experience to be fair. Though I don't think I remember any Turkish. I think I remember the Biriki, Don, and all of that, the numbers.
Good start.
Good start.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Good start. So in a country like Turkey, right? How do you think it's progressing in terms of technology? Do you think they've adapted well? Do you think it's going to take a while as well to get there?
Honestly speaking, I'm more focused on that area, the regional wise.
Really?
Yeah. But of course, at one point, the Turkey market is huge.
Yeah.
There is a great opportunity. Now, currently, the focus is, in the Dubai, Kuwait, and the Saudi. Then we would extend to Turkey.
Oh yeah, perfect stuff. So finally, let's talk about your other business, which is you being a sculptor. You have a sculptor company. Tell us about
It's a hobby.
It's a hobby.
Not a business, yeah.
Wow, so you turned it into a business
So
already.
you already turned it
into a business
Yeah.
already. Oh, interesting. So how's this hobby like? When do you usually have time for this hobby?
I don't have enough time for it.
Yeah.
So every year, maybe 2-3 sculptures. Because it's it takes time.
Absolutely.
And it is dedication. So there are many artists, so they have their life out of that, sculptures or painting.
Absolutely.
The thing that I work sometimes in the study, but in my free times, because my mind is a constant thinking process.
Yeah.
If I have there's some free time, which happens maybe 3-4 months, then I can sit and I can work on it. But it's not, the super planned process. So I do sculptures from clay and then transform to bronze.
Okay.
And I do, the joint exhibitions, and thanks, they are also inviting me as an artist, which I accept as a compliment, because for me it's just beginning. I cannot say that I'm an artist, but that's good.
Absolutely.
And I do sell them. Then I donate that money for the female kids' education and support.
That is so amazing. I think we should actually give a round of applause to me.
Thank you.
That's so amazing. So we're going to take another quick break, a very quick break. And when we return, we would, of course, reach the conclusion stages of this interview. Thank you so much. Please stay with us.
but we hope to see you here for the next one.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us and welcome back. Thank you so much so far. The conversations has been amazing so far. Now, you are a founder of an AI company, D14 AI. Of course, you cannot mention AI without mentioning sustainability because AI does a lot to keep everything sustainable. So let us know, what do you think is missing at the moment in terms of how companies, organizations, institutions are migrating into sustainability and perhaps AI? Do you think there's still like a gap in there that should be filled at some point?
For sustainability wise or for AI side?
For sustainability side and for AI side.
So I think, everyone's talking about, okay, what we're gonna do, how far we can go, and what is, the things that we need to invest. But I think, this feasibility study, where we are right now, what kind of data we have, and what is our current structure, and how is our business plan and the time plan, what can we accommodate, what we need to push back.
Absolutely.
So that's actually super important. And sustainability, there are in the UN goals as well, there are a couple of stages, which one they want to focus on.
Absolutely.
So that's just, the business and the gut feeling decisions that they can pick. For the AI side, like I said, sometimes I said, okay, can we stop saying AI? Because sometimes I say,
really?
But in general, not for you.
Yeah.
Because are we talking about automation?
Yeah.
Are we talking about image processing? Are we talking about optimization? Sometimes they all sounds like, the automated softwares.
Yeah.
So it depends on where you are right now and what you want to achieve in the coming days.
Absolutely.
If it's something that cannot be done with the manpower, existing time, with the human mindset, so I would call that kind of things as an AI side.
Yeah.
But I mean, the educational ones, the zero power, gender equality, and the climate change, that's all can be done with the, that kind of technologies.
Absolutely. D14 AI celebrated their 3rd year anniversary a couple of days ago, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
How was that? Tell us about the journey when you started and where you are now. Tell us about this journey.
That's, oh my God. It's still, it makes me so emotional.
Oh, yeah.
I came to Dubai almost nothing. So I just came for the 3 days, and I was, managing a couple of projects along with the Dubai airports. And I said, okay, I'm gonna set up a company here. But Dubai is, I think, in my opinion, is more expensive than New York.
Oh,
And
really?
it's super dynamic, and everything is changing, and everything is moving, and very intellectual and international. So I had to work so many times. I think all of my friends, they said, Melda, you should stop. You're torturing yourself.
Really?
You need to stop. I said, no, I invested that much, I'm gonna invest more. I did this much, I'm gonna invest more. So it was very, very tough.
Yeah.
It was a crazy journey. I don't want to get in detail, I might cry.
Oh,
So,
my
but now what I believe, if you're really passionate about, if you work, it's gonna pay back.
Definitely. It goes back to what we started saying when we started this conversation about being patient. And even when you fail, don't be scared. It's normal. Just keep it going.
Yeah.
And you're an inspiration, I'm not going to lie. You're an inspiration
Thank
to
you.
a lot of entrepreneurs in Dubai, in Turkey, in the world in general. And we really appreciate everything you've done and everything you're doing. Are there any upcoming projects that you have in the pipeline, perhaps in Dubai, in Turkey, or anywhere in the world that you want to
Scale up globally.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So we're now focusing on healthcare. We said, okay, you know what? We're gonna only focus on the medical, and we're gonna continue to dig into it. So we are working on how we can make this product, the globally and faster scale.
Absolutely, definitely. I'm very certain that the whole world will accept and adapt to your products and everything you're working on D14 AI. Thank you so much, Melda, for being with us.
Thank you, guys.
It's been an amazing time with her and, of course, with the audience as well. Thank you so much. I really can't stop saying thank you so much, to be fair. Well, this is it for the second episode of BCA Chat Dubai, Business and Current Affairs Think Tank. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, like and share, comment, of course. If you have questions for us, or you have questions for Melda, you can drop them in the comment section, and we'll be there to respond to you. Thank you so much, and see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But we hope to see you here for the next one.